My name's Dan Garber, I'm 38, I'm based in Bradford, I'm 6'5", I'm boxing the heavyweight division, I weigh about 16.5 stone. Been boxing now professionally for I think 5-6 years. I've had 6 pro fights, so I've won 5 of them, one of them by knockout. I'm boxing on the Katie Taylor undercard in Dublin on 25th of November. Mine really was through my dad's side of my family. My uncle was quite a well-known professional on circuit back in 80s and 90s. He boxed Lennox Lewis, Henry One Day, John Fury, Joe Bugner. It all started really from going to the gym with my uncle, seeing his fights in magazines. My granddad boxed as well. My dad did a bit of boxing. So I started then boxing, I think I'm 13, 14 at Bradford Police Boys with a trainer called Pop Allen. So that's where it started for myself. I started off over in Batley, working with Mark Early, while boxing in cruiserweight division. So I made my debut, I think it was at a leisure centre in Halifax. I think there were about 300 or 400 people there. I boxed a guy called Remigijus Sakauskas, I think it was, from Lithuania. He'd been in with guys like Dillian White, Derek Chisora, Tony Bellew. I think he'd had like 120 fights at the time. I boxed him over a 4-rounder, won that on points. Then a few months later, I boxed in Bradford. I made my debut in Bradford on my home show, on one of my home shows. I won that, and then that's when coronavirus came in, so it put a bit of a stop to small hall boxing. So at the time, that were it basically for me. But then started getting the itch back, obviously, when it all come back. Started training again. And I went back to the gym and I signed with a guy called Glenn Banks, manager. To be honest, I wish I'd have signed with him from the start, to be fair. He's kept me busy. I think this will be my 6th fight, this in the space of a year. And now, he's got me this massive opportunity really. I didn't expect it. Boxing for Celtic title, live on DAZN. It's my TV debut in front of 20,000 people. I watched him on the last Katie Taylor undercard when he was fighting against Jay McFarlane. I've seen a couple of his fights, to be fair. He's a southpaw like me. Similar height, I think he's a bit smaller. I think he's about 6'3", 6'4". He had a big amateur career. I think he had 150, 200 amateur fights, something like that. So he's doing everything that's asked of him. He's stopped most of his opponents. He's looked the part, but he's been fighting basically a lot of these Eastern European guys who are coming over. They're not coming to win. They're there basically to make you look good, and they're lying down. They're not coming to fight. And there's only myself, my trainer, and my manager who probably think I can win. But, well, if I win this fight, it's probably going to change my life. What's in the contract for me going forward. I'm not going to have to worry about working going forward and things like that. There's already been mentioned about other fights if I do cause the upset, but obviously I've just got to think about this fight first, and I know it's going to be hard. I'm under no illusions with that. It's stepping up from 4 rounds to 8 rounds. It's a massive, massive step up, and the opposition as well in boxing, Thomas, compared to what I've been in before, is a massive step up as well. You get some kids who, they dream about being professional footballers and playing at Wembley and things like that. This is what mine was. Like watching the big fights on TV, seeing my uncle boxing, getting all the magazines as a kid. And I always used to say to my mates, when I was boxing as an amateur, when I was a kid, one day I'll box on a show like this kind of thing. And I think sometimes you think it's not going to happen, but it's like my uncle always used to say to me, you just need that one win, especially when you're an heavyweight, and you'll get an opportunity, and now it's come.